I give people the choice. Usually don't stream when TJ's streaming, but it seemed like TJ was winding his stream down.
Yeah, because I fucking remember him going at like starting at 30 or some shit.
It's okay. People can choose which way they would like to walk.
Yeah, I feel like he's been doing that for a long time. Yeah, 2 hours, so.
I don't know. Wow. There needs to be like a co-streaming thing. Like YouTube really needs to let people set up people on their channel as co-streamers and use the infrastructure I know still exists from the Google Hangout thing to just make your stream joinable by a certain number of people. I would fucking adore that. I really would. I'd give like a very short list of people the ability to just like doo-doo-doo and start talking to me. You know what I mean? Like how hard would it be for them to integrate that type of shit? I have to imagine it wouldn't be that fucking hard. They've already got the back end with all the shit. All the goddamn shit. Your girlfriend is from Hanford. Oh, Hanford. What's that? Falafelicious greetings?
Felicitations.
No, falafelicious. Aren't you supposed to do that by making the stream private after what? Able to do that by making the stream private after?
Dude, I think you're lost.
I don't know what's happening. I don't know.
Okay, dude. Just don't dox your girlfriends.
Yeah, don't dox your girlfriend, bro. Don't lay down the dox on your girlfriend. You've already given enough information that if somebody wants to find out who your girlfriend is, they could really narrow it down.
You're completely missing the point, dude. Talking about adding people to a stream, not making less people watch it.
No, adding people to a stream. Like if TJ was streaming and I had the permissions on his channel or whatever, I could pop into his stream. Like as a little window. Like bloop, and he'd be able to see me and hear me, and the stream would be able to see me and hear me, and he and I could interact. I think it would be a feature that would be pretty cool, and I think that YouTube already has the fucking infrastructure for said feature. What up, Phoebes? California Phoebin.
Oh yeah, I got that too, dude.
What?
I watch other people's live streams and I see the no profiles. I'm like,
you're like, God damn it, fucking ban him. See, I'm starting a revolution. I'm starting to like. Here's the thing. The whole no PFP thing started as like an anti-troll measure, but has become a community building thing. Mm-hmm. It's like old YouTube. Everybody on old YouTube had a presence there. Like, even if they didn't make videos, you'd go to their channel and their channel would be designed in such a way to let you know what they thought. Their liked videos. You used to be able to customize your channel a lot. And now, like, people have taken, like, the last little bit of customization you're allowed to do and just to shoot it. And it makes it boring as fuck for me. I hate looking at my chat and seeing nothing but fucking letters. C, T, A, W. It's like, fucking get out of here. Then you got guys like Xenodroid who have had, you know, the same anime dork avatar forever. But at least he, like, I recognize the anime dork avatar, you know? Creating a community, dude. Creating a community. You should turn on TJ's stream, dude. That would be so weird. There would be probably 6 seconds of lag,
Yep.
at least, between me saying something and him hearing it and him responding to it.
And then you guys would get even more lag.
Right. Because I would start talking and then he wouldn't know I'd started talking and he would start talking to respond and then he would hear me start talking and then he would stop and then I would hear him start talking and then I would stop. You see? Wouldn't work. It needs to be like, you know, phone to phone. Like we both have the YouTube app. We're both using the YouTube app to stream, right? Let me call him via the YouTube app because I'm like on his list of people that can do so and give him the opportunity to click yes or no. Do you want to let Paul's ego join your stream? Yes. And then blink, like a Skype call. Like how hard would that be? Probably super hard, but like fuck that. It's Google. Google owns this fucking shit. Do something with it. Instagram has that. Yeah, but Instagram is like, aren't you limited to like half-hour videos?
An hour or something max.
Yeah, IG Live is not. I mean, if I could like get in the habit of really like doing these power hour type of streams or whatever the fuck, maybe.
But then you can't limit your list like you're talking about. You just have it. Any fucking rando can request to join, and you just have to like turn down all these stupid requests that you don't want.
Oh yeah, or just ignore them, I guess. But then how do you find the ones you do want if you're just flooded with requests to join your fucking? See that sucks. I think that there should be a layer of like, look, dude, these are the people I collaborate with. They have my YouTube number or whatever. They could even tie it with Google Voice.
Yeah.
And just be like, look, they've got my fucking YouTube Google Voice number or whatever. Whoever I give that to can call into my stream. That's actually asking for trouble. Just make it a setting in YouTube where I go in the back end and I add people's accounts to a list of people that are allowed to call in on streams. And then, you know, if I want to talk to somebody or don't want to talk to somebody, I accept or decline. You know what I mean? So if TJ's on a fucking tangent or something and I see him streaming and I feel like streaming like I did tonight, rather than, you know, starting a stream and competing with him or whatever, which is not what I'm intending to do. People's got the choice to go watch whoever they want to watch, but I could call him, you know. I could be like, oh, join TJ's stream. And we could yak, you know, if he was feeling up to it. Same thing with me. If he sees me streaming one of these days, he feels like streaming, he could fucking hop on my stream with Chelsea and we could yak. That would be so cool.
See, even the list of mods is too much for you to consider allowing to call in.
Yeah, no, my mods wouldn't have call-ins. Absolutely not. I want to like my mods. No, I'm talking about people I know, like known quantity type people. Like no disrespect to my wrenches.
There's just a lot of you that Paul doesn't know super well.
I don't know any of them, except for the ones that I've met in real life, like Marshall. Yeah. Marshall would get call in. TJ, Scotty. Who else would I want to have call in privileges over here?
Chelsea.
Well, yeah, Chelsea individually if she wanted to. Taylor, give your account call in, so if you wanted to sit in there and watch, you could do it. Who else? Who else would get call in privileges from Paul?
Tommy.
Tommy from the Bronx, maybe. Yeah. I don't know that Tommy would want them. Tommy from the Bronx. Give him a little call in. I might like dangle it. I might like give it and take it from certain people. Like it would be cool. Like that other night when I was arguing with Jamie Darke in the chat, I could just give Jamie, like, I could click on her name and give her like one time this stream only access to call in. You know what I mean? And then she could have called in and we could have hashed it out. That'd be kind of cool. Give like limited one-time call-in access by just clicking on somebody in the chat, you know, just like, yeah. See, dude, this is what I'm talking about. Look at me. I can write movies. I can design apps. All I need is just billionaires to make me their idea guy, and it's over. Hire a stoner. Hire a stoner. Pay us partially in weed. Apple nasty vinyls pressed. Have you ever looked into pressing a vinyl? Like fulfilling and pressing vinyl and shit? It's expensive. It's really, really fucking expensive to do limited run batches of vinyl pressings. Yeah, dude. Shark Tank stoner ideas. Oh my God, bro. That's the thing. We got to find some fucking alternative businessmen, not these stuffy Shark Tank fucks. I don't want to work with none of them anyway. Find some businessmen who value the idea, like crazy fucking out of the box ideas, and then have stoners come in one by one and pitch them all their stonery ideas. And then they pick their favorite one every show and give it a try. Dank Tank. Yeah. I love it, dude. Dank Tank.
I need to get sued by Shark Tank because they're assholes, though.
Probably. We wouldn't be able to call it anything tank. We'd have to call it, you know, some other, we'd have to come up with another fucking name. Because if we called it anything tank, they would claim that they owned the combination of anything and tank, and they'd win, probably. Highdeology. I mean, that name, I couldn't even name this channel that, because that name is like, there's like highdeology.com, and there's, you know, it's already fucking taken. I called my my old Periscope streams Highdeology, and then I was gonna carry that on over here, but looked and there's like a whole channel and everything. Highdeology doesn't really work though, because that's more like what I do here.
That's not evocative of pitches.
Right. You have to make it evocative of like, hey, dude, the best stoner idea wins. But you got to have a title that, you know, is shorter than that, obviously. Dank ideas. No. That doesn't roll off the tongue right, man. I'm good at naming things. I don't always have the answer, but I typically will come up with the fucking name for a thing. I understand the importance of a name. Names are important. Wasted opportunities. I like the fucking, like, I like the wordplay, but it's a little bit, it's like it's two big words. You've got to have something bold and quick. It's too long. Wasted opportunities is too many syllables. Nobody's going to get into that. The dank den. See, then we get no. See, we can't even like allude to a tank.
Yeah.
We can't steal the aesthetic of Shark Tank at all.
Yeah, you saw what happened to that poor urologist that they accused of knocking off March Madness.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that poor bastard. Just call it Red Eye. The Red Eye. Mark, is a 45-year-old unemployed stoner from Pasadena, California. He's had, quote, high-level ideas his whole life and can't wait to sell his idea to the panel. Mark has been smoking a sativa while waiting. He claims that it pumps him up. Like everybody has to be high when they give the pitch. So like they cannot go in sober. They've got to sit and fucking like toast 2 or 3 bowls out of a bong. They got to go in fucking wasted stoned.
Pipe dreams.
Pipe dreams. I like that.
Yeah.
That's good. Pipe dreams is good.
Good job, Derek.
Boom. See? Succinct. 2 syllables. Shark Tank. Pipe dreams. Evocative of what it is. That's a good name. That's a good name. Pipe dreams, yep. Our panel of stoner judges will make somebody's pipe dream come true. We got a show, boys. Yeah. See, the problem is that nobody's fucking... this is not a pitch. You know what I mean? It's a great idea. If it reached the right ears, I can almost guarantee somebody would make something like that. It fucking writes itself. You don't have to write it. That's the great thing. It's reality TV. So you rely on stoners and their creativity to come in and write it for you. Yeah, Pipe Dreams is my top tier name so far.
God damn it, it's a channel, though.
That's okay. That doesn't matter.
It's a tutorial channel, though.
It doesn't matter, yeah.
It doesn't count.
There are different ways of branding it to get around. Like, just because somebody has a YouTube channel named something doesn't mean you can necessarily, you can't brand a show that way. Like, Pipe Dream is a fucking idiom.
Yeah.
So nobody owns that shit. Highdeology, that's a fucking unique portmanteau.
Yeah.
Special guests like Snoop. Yeah, guest judges from all over the fucking weed culture. We'd have Seth Rogen on because he's got his new fucking whatever his weed strain is, you know what I mean? So have a panel of well-known stoner comedians as your main judges, and then have like a rotating 4th judge seat. Have Willie Nelson come sit in and blah, blah, blah. Gotta get Willie, of course, dude. Chief Keef. You know what I mean? You just gotta get, it's just a rotating cast of weed-loving judges. You get to come in, you get to pitch a crazy fucking idea for a show, for a movie, for a fucking product. And then, at the end of the show, all the stoner judges decide on a winner and we fund them making their product. Pipe dreams. This whole weed culture thing is going to catch on in a huge way. I'm not talking about it's not going to be like you're thinking. It's not going to be like 420, bro. It's going to be like
wine almost.
Yeah, but like counterculture wine.
Yeah.
Like legal weed. There's going to be a whole fucking market for this shit. These types of ideas are like probably 3 or 4 years before their time. I'm going to be that honest with you. Because it's just now getting to the point where there's more weed legal states than not. Like, it's not such a hot iron that entertainment companies don't want to touch anymore. Mm-hmm. The idea of having people come on and smoke weed on your show has gotten more and more appealing as more and more states have undercut the federal government. And it gets closer and closer to the point where the federal government is either going to have to start sending in troops to forcibly seize weed from weed shops or just deschedule fucking weed and take it off the schedule and make it a state right.
No. Tobacco culture is not comparable. You do not smoke cigarettes for the same reason you smoke weed.
No. There's not a whole... I mean, there is a culture, I guess, around being a smoker, but, like, it's not... It's very different. Like, weed has got a whole... Like, for example, smoking cigarettes is an aesthetic. You see it in certain artists and musicians and movies, right? And so... But that's all it is, really, is, like... Smokers don't get around and like discuss smokes, whereas like like you get me in here with like 1 or 2 stoners and we'll talk about weed all night. Mm-hmm. Different aspects of it, different strains of it that we like, how we like to smoke it, best ones, worst ones, fucking all that shit. You know what I mean? Like, but I've never in my life heard cigarette smokers sit down and have a fucking half-hour conversation about cigarettes. Nobody cares.
No, it's the most it goes to is like, oh, hey, you got one to bum?
Yep.
Literally don't care what it is.
Smoke Camels, that's okay? I don't fucking care. If it's a cigarette, it's okay. Give it to me. Thank you. You know what I mean? That's about the extent of a cigarette smoker's fucking cigarette talk. But weed potheads, and see, like... Weed has this whole history, too, of being a drug that creatives have used, both with one another and alone, in order to stimulate creativity. There's a reason why this show idea, while funny, is actually a good idea. Because people's inhibitions are lowered by marijuana, and that in concert with some of the other kind of psycho whatever dynamic effects that it has on your brain has been shown to stimulate certain aspects of creative, in the moment, improvisational thinking. It's used widely by artists, writers, filmmakers, painters. I mean, I'm not saying everybody that engages in those art forms uses it. I'm just saying it is used widely and has been used widely by people who do those types of creative endeavors. In all of recorded history, as far as we can tell.
Yeah, people have a first smoke story, but after that, that's it. After you talk about your first cigarette, you're done.
Or how you started, or that time you tried to quit.
Yeah.
Or whatever the fuck. It's all just,
It's like talking about the weather and how interesting it is.
Nobody
and
cares.
then-
Like, I gotta tell you, dude, I've sat around in a lot of sad little smokers alleys because, like, they treat you like a cow when you're a smoker. I remember going to this really nice casino in Ohio. It was on Indian land, and we drove up to it. It was me and TJ and Scotty and all the girlfriends at the time. Now wives, but girlfriends at the time. And we went up there, and like it was a non-smoking casino inside. And the smokers area was the saddest fucking place on the I shit you not, dude. I couldn't even fucking do it. I went out there, and there were like 2 or 3 old people with the oxygen tanks with their masks pulled off to the side, sitting there like, you know what I mean? Just like getting their fucking smoke in before they went back in to pull the one-armed bandit for the rest of the night. I was just like, there were people standing around and coughing, and it's just like, and they have you all like sandwiched into this like walled-in outdoor thing. And it's just like dank and stank in there, even though it's kind of open air, and it's just fucked up. You're like a cow in there. They do the same thing to you in like fucking theme parks. Like when I was at Universal Studios in Florida.
Dude, it took me forever to find the smoking area in Universal.
The Jurassic smoking area.
Yeah, it took. I had to ask like 6 different people. It's ridiculous.
They hide it like it's a goddamn fucking dirty secret. That's why. Like, it's in the Jurassic area.
Yeah.
And you have to walk down a path that doesn't even look like you're supposed to go down there. Yeah. It looks like employee access to the back part of a ride. Yeah. But then you go, and it takes you up and around the corner, and there's this little enclave. Like, I literally followed my nose to that motherfucker. Yeah. We were walking around the Jurassic area, and I was like, the smokers area is around here. And TJ was like, shut the fuck up. I was like, dude, no. Look. And we sniffed our way down this fucking thing, and here it was, dude, this little enclave in the woods of like depressed people, like just going like, fuck, this sucks. Thank God I found this fucking place. Oh, dude, when it comes to weed, I'll find it. If it's like, I'm always the first person to alert on weed in public, dude. It's like a siren call to me. When I smell it, I know I'm amongst my own somewhere. It's like, for me, smelling weed anywhere. I don't care where it is, whether it's walking into somebody's house you just met and you get that little hint that earlier on somebody smoked a J in the house, or you're out in public in a place where people normally don't smoke and you get a whiff. It's always like a smooth breeze, like a kiss to me. It's like somebody blew a kiss. I'm just like, oh, yes.
Smelling it at work was like the biggest fucking scandal ever. Cause there's like, I was at Amazon, so there's like fucking 1,000 people there, and like someone smelled it. And it's like this giant warehouse.
Who fucking tattled is what I want to know.
No one tattled, just like we all caught the smell of it, and we were like all fucking gossiping, trying to pin who the fuck it was.
I would have nailed it. I would have been able to find who the fuck it was immediately. No. I don't know. All right. Thank you, Charlotte. I don't know what anime faces necessarily are indicative of, but I think that's a good one. Isn't that a shocked one or some shit? I love RPGs when I'm high. Well, yeah, who doesn't love RPGs? No, the smell of weed is inviting to me. It's like, okay, I'm amongst my own. So now that there's a few people in here, can we talk about Jamie Darke wanting to. I think Jamie Darke wants to kill me. I think Jamie Darke is coming for me. No, I'm kidding. I guess Jamie Darke made a 2.5 hour stream about me. I kind of like skimmed through it, you know what I mean? And listened to a couple of things. And every time I would stop the skim, Jamie Darke looked really mad. So I think that Jamie made a very. I think she did like a 2.5 hour mad stream about me. So okay, I guess I'll have to watch that. I did ask for it. I was kind of expecting that, because she and I, if you look, somebody timestamped it. We only talked for like 40 minutes the other night. So I figured, she'd have a response that was like that, and I could watch that. But now I'm gonna have to fucking sit through fucking 2.5 hours of 2x speed while I'm playing Looper Hero, or Loop Hero. Is it spicy? I don't know. Like I said, I saw it and I skimmed around, and I heard angry talk. So I guess that makes it spicy. I heard anger words. She just calls you a doomer for 2 hours. Yeah, no shit. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't want people's uncharitable takes on it. I asked her to make a fucking response, and I'll go watch it. I'm just saying, I wasn't expecting a 2.5 hours response. Exposed. No, I'll figure it out. Is calling Paul a doomer inaccurate at all, though? I mean, I think it's inaccurate. I think people that have given up by throwing their entire political weight behind electoralism, and then they pretend that is, that's pretty much the extent of their political advocacy, that and a lot of talk. I think those are the people that have given up. I think those are the doomers. Those are the people that have resigned themselves to doing absolutely nothing while the world burns. Sounds like a doomer to me. I mean, whatever, dude. Jamie's delivery is fine. As far as I understand the term, it really just means acknowledging we face serious existential threats. No further opinion about the matter is required, but that's just Wikipedia's take. Right. Well, the way it's used, from what I understand it, is to kind of paint a person who's like, well, fuck it, because we're all dead anyway. What's the point of getting invested in fucking anything? Because we're all on a fucking freight train straight to hell, and blah, 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 right? And anybody that watches me knows that that's not my position. That's never been my position. But that shit gets thrown at me all the time, along with the continuing accusation that I have no plan other than don't vote. Which, even before I started the whole no confidence push, I had plans other than don't vote, right? So it's just a bunch of bad faith bullshit, because it makes people actually think about their positions. Now, not to respond to a video that I haven't seen, but I have a feeling that the reason why every time when I scrubbed in that Jamie Darke stream, she was so mad was I forced her to face the actuality of her direct action, which was signing her name next to a rapist of women. And I forced her to face the absurdity of living in a world where you accept that your choice is that or Trump. Which rapist do you like? And that makes people mad, because people are comfortable in this dome of like, well, you know, we're kind of fucked, but I did what I could. I made the utilitarian choice and blah 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 blah. And when you kind of like poke at that, like I did with Jamie, anger is the response. Because if I'm right at all, then it means that the whole bubble of ideology that surrounds people is wrong. Well, you know, I mean, you know the whole Yoda quote, fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering. It's all fear. Anger is fear. Anger is pain. Fear is pain. And there are people who are very, very comforted by the idea of, well, I did what I can, so I'm going to just talk about, you know, other things now. And next cycle, I'll do what I can again by taking my forced false binary choice and voting for another rapist or whatever it is I've got to do. However, I've got to subvert my actual fucking positions to do my fucking civic duty this go round. And it's a comfortable bubble to live in. But if somebody like, I'm the pincushion man. I'm the pincushion man, leader of Balloony Land. How I stop 'em when I pop 'em. Ho, ho, ho. You guys were, the old school people will remember watching that cartoon with me. It's one of my favorite cartoons of all time. And that really is what I feel like part of my job is as a leftist. To be the fucking pincushion man of the leftist. To remind people that they have been corralled as leftists into voting for fucking rapists. Warmongering segregationist rapists. Because it's a little less bad than the other one. You're too young to have any idea what you're referring to. That's okay. You should look it up. It's a really old cartoon. I think it's called, you can look it up on YouTube if you search Pincushion Man. You'll probably find it. It's so old that it's everywhere now. It's like one of those really old proto Looney Tunes. It's really good. It's actually, we did a whole philosophical breakdown of it on the channel. Yeah, it's like a 30s cartoon or something. So it's way before my fucking time. How I stop 'em when I pop 'em. Yeah. There's actually a really good stream here from a few years ago where we watch it together. Maybe we'll do that again one of these days. Maybe it's been long enough. It's time to revisit some of the philosophy of early cartoons. But that's definitely my favorite. The Pincushion Man. Terror of Balloony Land. Well, he is a big giant pincushion with pins stuck in him. Like his body is a big pincushion and he's stuck full of pins and he pulls them out and everybody else and everything else in the world is made of balloons. And so he whips out pins and throws them and pops different things. It's an apt name if you see the character design. He's the pincushion man. It's very literal. Sounds complicated. It really isn't. It's a very easy to understand cartoon, but it's laden with philosophy. It's great. Yeah, he's stuck full of pins. He's got like, a body that is a big pin cushion. He's full of pins and he pulls them out and pops all the little balloons. Oh! Terror of Balloony Land. How I stop 'em when I pop 'em. Whoa! Ho, ho. Yep. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'll take a look at Jamie's stream, and if I think there's a chance that there's anything in there we can like actually have a talk about, then I'll like do a co-stream or whatever with her. But if it's all just like if it's 2.5 hours of mad posting, I'll pass on that. You can be mad all fucking day. I'm fucking mad. I'm mad that leftists have settled for fucking Joe Biden. I'm mad that leftists have settled on the Democratic Party and the DNC. I'm mad that leftists that preach direct action aren't doing any and instead are contextualizing Joe Biden's shitty fucking presidency. So I'm mad too. Let's all get mad. Grrr. Mad world. Mad magazine, yeah. You're now watching Mad TV. Mad! That's gonna be me, like, watching that Jamie Darke stream on 2X later. You're now watching Mad TV. Mad! I'm gonna be sitting there playing fucking Loop Hero and listening to Jamie Darke call me names for fucking 2.5 hours. I'm sorry, dude. I'll never suggest that as an advocate of women, maybe you shouldn't fucking empower the rapists of women again, all right? I'll never pop that bubble again. That's the thing about the pincushion man. Once he's popped a goddamn bubble, he doesn't come back and pop it again. You pop a bubble. I was watching a compilation of Spy versus Spy the other day, and it's not as entertaining as I remember. Yeah, I mean, it's very simplistic, right? I watched it was a lot of Paul that is saying I don't support women's right. Yeah. It hit a nerve. Well, that's what I want to do. I really think that's what you've got to do. This whole like calm debate where everybody goes like, well, I just agree to disagree. That gets nowhere. You got to strum people's fucking goddamn motherfucking nerves. You got to find it. You got to pluck it because that's like the resonance from that plucking is going to drive people to eventually, some at least, to eventually see the inherent hypocrisy in their position. It's going to drive some people to have a fullness of heart that isn't satisfied by constantly, cyclically voting for the lesser of two really disgusting evils. That's what I want. I want leftists to feel bad about voting for Joe Biden. I want them to feel bad when Joe Biden lies and doesn't deliver on the things that he says he's going to deliver on. I want them to stop going like, well, look at his climate plan. It's the most progressive thing. Like they've never heard the fucking reduced emissions by 2050 line before. And a lot of them haven't. That's kind of maybe the problem. Like they're thinking like, whoa, we reduced emissions by 2050. Fuck, bro. And it's like, dude, every goddamn fucking president since I was a child has promised that. And emissions have gone. It's like when did words become more important than output? It's like they're like, oh, Joe Biden's like fucking climate. What about the climate, Posego? Like, what the fuck has he done for the climate other than promise to do a bunch of shit? Oh, he joined the Paris Climate Accord. You know that's a fucking bullshit, like, 100th measure. And you know it. Like, you're aware of it. Meanwhile, the fucking oil is still flowing through the Dakota Access Pipeline, even though there's no legal standard that should allow it. In violation of fucking tribal sovereignty. These are POC, by the way. Marginalized POC. No ban on fracking. A bunch of oil contracts. A bunch of weapons contracts. This is the output of the Biden administration, so let's get fucking real about it. Yeah, but, It's just like, it's going to be fucking poetic justice of all these people that were like, we had to vote for Joe Biden because we had to get rid of Trump, okay? If they get him again in 2024 and he wins, fuck. You didn't get rid of Trump, dipshits. And if your candidate does jack shit for the average person, talks a big game, but the average person doesn't see their life fucking change in any measurable way, guess what? Guess what? Guess what's gonna happen? It's like watching a car crash in slow motion and having no ability to stop it. So you're just yelling at the people in the cars like, hey, you might want to hit the brakes. Whatever. We're going to retrofit buildings and make them green. Come on, man. We're going to put up some fucking wind farms. Come on, man. They'll save the planet. Wind farms, bro. Wind ain't going to do it. Read Bright Green Lies by Derek Jensen. Wind ain't gonna fucking handle it. We're putting up some wind farms, Jack. We're gonna put an LGBTQ sticker on every wind farm, too. So that trans people can see some representation in the world. We took down those old cages and put up plastic zombie tents, Jack, because we care. I love the metaphor in Ishmael about the first time someone tried to fly, and no matter how positively they feel about the physics, still kicks in, right? Well, if you follow the line of Ishmael, then you'll remember that that analogy is used extensively. The idea that we have all jumped in this plane together and we are hurtling towards the ground. We've fallen off of a cliff, and rather than take wing, our plans have hurtled us towards the ground, and we're all slowly falling. And the narrative on the plane seems to be that we'll pull out of it. At some point, we'll figure a way to pull out of this fucking spin. And meanwhile, the plane is done. There's nobody at the helm. And nobody's discussing leaving the plane. Nobody's discussing parachutes. Nobody's discussing the fact that we're heading screaming towards the ground as a species. To make a sizable dent in the problem, we would have to not only be 100% carbon neutral, which means we're no longer belching carbon into the atmosphere. That's step one, right? But that's only step one. Even if we did that today, we all still die in the coming climate crisis, right? So step two has to be actively repairing the damage that we've done. And that's the tough step. That requires the entire planet to be aligned. And even then, you're only making you're making a dent in the coming collapse, right? It's not like you're stopping it, but you're making a dent in it. Maybe you're lessening the amount of time. Maybe you're lessening the severity and onset, right? Why are you typing biomass, biomass, biomass? Capitalism has absolutely fucked us. Screw anyone who's ignorant enough to praise that system. Sure. I was watching your old vid, checked what's new, and what do you guess? You're live. Here I am. Hairier, but wiser. Coming from an old Paul's Ego video to this. Jesus Christ. We all know who the richest man is, but do you know who the poorest... Do you know the poorest? Bring him up, and we might have a chance. Right. Sure. This is not pre-recorded, Connor. Don't spread fake news. All right. You're banned. You're talking incredible nonsense, so you're banned. The comments are programmed. I didn't follow Yang's tweet. Yeah, like let me explain something to you. There's never a day in my life where I sit and ponder somebody's tweet for longer than it takes me to read it and possibly respond to it, okay? So I didn't see Yang's tweet. A tweet is not news to me. I don't care. What did he say? If you can parse it for me, I can respond to what it is. He simped for Israel. Well, I mean, what did he say? It's a tweet, so you've got the room to put it, or most of it at least. Supporting Israel at the expense of Palestinians. So he's taken a side in the IP conflict, and he's simping Israel and shitting on the Palestinians. And supporting bulldozers knocking people's fucking houses over so that rich Israeli settlers can settle down and have olive groves. Every politician simps for Israel because Israel is our biggest military base in the Middle East. It is considered to be, in the geopolitical and war-minded worlds, a foothold of American ideals in the Middle East. And the conflict going on there between the native Palestinians and Israeli settlers is seen as an outcropping. It is seen as the growth of it, what will never happen, the growth of a democratic takeover of the Middle East. Israel is representative of this absolutely fundamentally ridiculous and childish meme in the minds of our politicians. The violence against Palestine has been in a cycle of escalation and de-escalation since I was a fucking zygote in my mother's womb and before. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict has been a tragic mismatch and a tragic example of human rights violations supported by the West, and a canker sore on our moral fucking fabric as a nation forever. They will literally send troops in, take everything a Palestinian family owns and throw it out in front of their homes while they cry, and bring a bulldozer and bulldoze their entire fucking neighborhood down, kick them out of the area, and then move rich Israeli families who want to live in Israel and build nice new houses there and put them behind a wall. Slowly but surely, these people are being exterminated from the land that they've lived on their whole lives. And there's all this talk of peace and a co-equal fucking solution in Palestine, but all that ever comes out is tacit support for the continued atrocities of the Israeli government and the IDF against native Palestinians in the Gaza Strip. This is the new left, by the way. This is the policy of Joe Biden, Kamala Harris. This is actually the policy of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She recently went on a show where she fucking had nothing to say about Israel-Palestine. Nothing. She went on, gave a word salad response, couldn't say what I just said. Couldn't parse it politically and say the ongoing abuses of the IDF and Israel against native Palestinians have to stop. It's unacceptable. That's not what came out of her mouth. What came out of her mouth was some fucking word salad justifying how we approach it and how the output is different from the input. And it's just a bunch of fucking horse shit. She forgot how to talk like a leftist once she got a little power. Now she doesn't have to anymore. Now she gets to make excuses for our allies shitting on fucking brown people everywhere in the world. She's already in the club. She doesn't have to want to be in the club. She's in the fucking club. Move on. She's lost. She's gone. To her credit, I've seen her denounce the recent violence in Palestine repeatedly. There's a difference between denouncing Palestine vocally on Twitter and voting for initiatives that are in support of Israel. One of those is a direct action that leads to material support for Israel to continue committing the atrocities. And one of them is an empty virtue signal. Can you guess which is which? Because as far as I know, she has, since she's been in office, voted yes on every appropriations bill that included Israeli support. You can fact check me on that. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that her voting record reflects a strong, pretty unbroken support for the nation of Israel and the continuation of the atrocities there. So I give a fuck what the bitch says. What's she doing? AOC recently got called out for not making a public stance against U.S. intervention in a few countries in South America, and her response is pretty much the same as Yang's on Israel right now, of course. Because she has to make excuses for it. Because it's Democratic Party policy to intervene in democratically elected governments in South America and foment discord and oppose democratically elected leaders or oppose people who are rising up in protest of their non-democratically elected leaders. This has been the American policy since before fucking AOC's grandma was born. And she's a part of it now. And if she takes a stand against it, it means that she won't be under the dragon's wing anymore. Nancy Pelosi won't caucus with her anymore. She won't get any fucking appointments. She won't get to move up. So now she has to come up with a reason why she's not standing at the fucking border crying at a fucking chain link fence. Why it's okay now that babies are being held from their mothers and fathers in fucking weird zombie tents for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and months. She was never about it. She was about selling it, though. She was about using all the right language to appeal to young people, wasn't she? Wokeisms, promises. She knew all the right ones to make. She knew how you were suffering. She just didn't plan to do anything about it. That was the lie. She planned to play lip service to it. Que sera, sera, right? Another one bites the dust or whatever. But let's talk about trans rights. Like, not to downplay it, but let's act like trans rights fucking are a trade-off for any of the fucking horrors that we've been talking about tonight. Myopic, nationalistic thinking. Utter ignorance of the fucking tidal wave that's right on the horizon that's about to crush us all. I think trans people are fucking faring in the global south as a result of our economic policy. You think we care about fucking trans people? Really? Give me a fucking break, bro. I understand it's already crushing us, right? I'm just making an analogy. Can you believe I had fellow Venezuelans, friends I grew up with during Chavez, wishing for U.S. regime change invasion? I do believe Maduro should rot in prison, but that's not the way. Well, you're just using fucking history as an example. Why don't you go to your fucking friends and ask them what has happened in every fucking country that America has interceded in this way? Give them the history of American fucking intercession in your region of the world and ask them how the people have fared. America is the fucking poison pill in the global south. Everything we touch turns to shit. Everything we touch turns to factory farming shite. Because there are no good examples. You can use the Middle East as an example too. The United States has, at the very least, 2 or 3 times, in my knowledge, taken out the democratically elected or non-democratically elected leader of a fucking Middle Eastern country and sent that country spiraling into chaos and sectarianism and violence. War, Giovanni, endless, grinding, horrible butchery all over the fucking world as we fight for the last scraps of what's left of that supply, both what's in storage and what is left under these countries. Horrible, horrible war, further degradation of the oceans to the point of absolute madness. Oil spills, oil slicks, war, war, war. All we can claim is that we helped Japan recover after the bomb into a normal country again, but that's because we really needed the PR boost after wiping out those cities horribly. We didn't even Dude, we raped Japan. Have you read about the atrocities that American soldiers committed in Japan against women and children and just the populace in general during the transitional period? We literally raped that country. Into submission. Yeah, I've read what the Japanese did to people. I didn't say they were fucking innocent. I'm just saying let's not act like we created a nice little nation out of Japan or some shit. The Japanese people decided to do that and really weren't given a choice militaristically or otherwise. And it came at the point of the sword. So you want to fucking equivocate, we can equivocate all night. I'm not here to equivocate, though. The Japanese were brutal to people. And in response, we were brutal to them as a people. They gave up their choice when they attacked us. Sure. Civilization is natural for humans, but so is barbarism. Yep. See, you look at things so one-sidedly because you were born here. The Japanese attacked us. Okay, well, let's parse that. Why did they attack us? Do you know where they attacked us? They attacked us in Pearl Harbor. Pearl Harbor was a gigantic military base, naval and air base, right? In the South Pacific. Far, far from the American homeland in the South Pacific. Relatively just off the shore of fucking Japan, geopolitically speaking. Imagine if Japan created a giant missile base on Hawaii. Hawaii wasn't a state then. No, it wasn't. Hawaii wasn't even close to Japan. It's in the South Pacific. It's in a region that they considered their purview. You know, kind of like how we consider the South Pacific our purview because reasons. How we decided, oh yeah, we're going to take this whole fucking island nation and colonize it and use it as a military base. The world is our purview, let's be honest. Well, that attitude has led to endless fucking degradation and war the world over. So good on you for that. Thanks, Eric. Heard of the Philippines? I know what they did, Jay Searcy. I know what they did. Do you know what we did to them in response? Were they building Japanese fucking bases off the coast of America? Were they slowly encroaching and surrounding the United States with military bases? I'm not justifying what they did. I'm an anti-war person. But let's be honest about the fucking geopolitical situation that Japan was in as a fellow imperialistic power. Watching the United States slowly colonize every island surrounding them, slowly move its massive fucking fleets closer and closer to their homeland. Philippines was an American territory at the time, yeah. Right. That was the point of trying to take Hawaii, Guam, and Midway, yes. They were trying to cut us off from the Pacific, as we were trying to cut them off from the Pacific by placing military bases all throughout it. Why do you think we had military bases all over the fucking Pacific? because we decided that because we're a nation that borders the Pacific, we own every island within a fucking 700-mile radius of our coast. Fuck that, 2,000-mile radius of our fucking coast. We own it. We patrol it. Right now, we're doing a buildup of military, naval military to posture against China in the South Pacific. What are you fucking talking about, bro? Myopic, nationalistic, American-centric thinking. The inability at all to think globally. You think he's a troll? I think he's a troll too, but the truth of the matter is that he's a useful troll because he's making an argument that a lot of people make unironically and non-trollingly and giving me the opportunity to respond to it. Do you know how we brutalized Pacific Islanders too? Let's talk about our colonization of that part of the world if you want to talk about brutality. Do you think we just showed up with fucking big baskets of Cracker Jacks and shit? We raped and murdered those people off of their land and subjugated them. Yeah. There are whole fucking island chains that we nuked for testing and just left the people there to rot from fucking radiation poisoning and shit. Yep. Native Hawaiians live in tent cities on their own fucking land. So let's talk. Where you at, Jay Saoirse? We relocated the natives. Yeah, we relocated them and then allowed them to go back to their irradiated homeland and didn't tell them anything about what we'd done to it and let them fucking rot. Let's move you guys over here for a little while. All right. Yeah, you can go back. Yeah, why do we have the right to relocate anyone? It's just fucking ridiculous. This is what I'm talking about. This is what jingoism does to your goddamn fucking brain. Whatever, but tell me again about how Pearl Harbor justifies every goddamn fucking thing we've ever done. Go ahead. We turned one of the most beautiful places into the world into a leper colony. Look up the history of Molokai and the people that lived there. What happened to them? We basically destroyed that fucking culture and turned it into this. White people tourism shit. White people culture tourism. Now white people get off of ships, get off of planes. Young fucking native girls, all skimpily clad, do hula dances that used to be representative of something in their culture, but are now just fucking tourist trap nonsense. They throw a lei over your neck like you're some kind of conquering hero coming to their fucking island. When's the last time you did anything for a Hawaiian visiting the mainland? We roll out the red carpet for them. Turn their fucking culture and their traditions into a joke. into a sad, disgusting, corporatized parody of what they used to be. We all go there, eat it up and soak it up, wear flowers in our hair and fucking put lays on and wear grass skirts and take pictures on the beach. We raped those people into submission. What you often don't see is the awful standard of living the real Hawaiians suffer and the fact that they're now in a minority there. Oh, dude, it's fucking horrible. Poverty, crime, drug abuse, untreated mental illness is rampant on those fucking islands. We ruined that place. It's still got a lot of natural beauty. It hasn't been completely naturally ruined yet, but when it comes to the culture, the unique and sovereign fucking culture that was in that fucking place, gone. Just a pale fucking imitation. The People of the Sun by Rage Against the Machine just popped into my fucking head. When I spaced out right now, it was because all I could hear in my head is, they're coming back around again. Dude, this is for the people of the sun coming back around again. Wow, 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 wow. God damn it. Anywhere we can't turn into an island resort will be turned into a wasteland. Yeah, just a nuclear fucking wasteland, bro. Just a nuke-tested shithole biological experiment wasteland. I believe we can learn from the laws of physics when it comes to the things that are done on the planet. How dropping a giant rock in the water sends ripples that, if you were able to trace them, don't stop maybe for miles, right? And how cause and effect can lead to a massive change. And I firmly believe that the West and its colonization, its brutal rape of so many fucking sovereign people, I can't even name them all, over the last fucking 300 years of history or more? I believe those chickens are coming home to roost. Do you guys have any fucking clue what it cost in blood to live on the land that you live in America and to live the standard of living that you do so that you can make blithe fucking arguments for voting for Joe Biden? Do you have any fucking idea what was taken from this continent that I live on by European colonizers? Do you have any conception of it? Entire civilizations of people, unique, their own traditions, vastly different from one another due to the vast geographical difference, wiped from this fucking earth. Yeah, but we can't change the past. We can learn from it though, can't we? I guess we can't learn from the past either. I was thinking about that today, how much death was caused just so I could have what I have. Like me being able to get the vaccine came at the cost of so many people in the global south dying. Absolutely. And if you don't just relegate history to history, if you value the lives of those people, the pile of bodies that led to that vaccine jab that you got today is so high you may not be able to breathe if you climb to the top of it. Mount Everest. Yep. India is dying of COVID. Geopolitically, saber rattling against China. Look, I don't need to list off the litany of bullshit going on. But what I will do is constantly remind people on the political left in this country of the facts. The most giant migration crisis in human history in 30 years. We're already seeing the front edges of it now. People are already fleeing. In 30 years, there will be a swath of the equator that is uninhabitable. In 50 years, much of the ocean will stop belching fucking oxygen. It will acidify to the point where it's not making oxygen. We are fucking careening off the deep end as a result of what we've done to this planet. And nobody's talking about even pumping the brakes on it. Nobody. I got fucking people on the left screaming in incoherent rage at me for 2.5 straight fucking hours, justifying their vote for a fucking colonizing rapist, fucking imperialist, warhawk, piece of fucking segregationist shit. You can't pump the brakes at this point. You can pump the brakes ideologically and start fighting for a new fucking tact. Stop accepting fucking thin gruel. Start fighting. What's the realistic alternative? Voting for Biden over and over again. Congrats. Pat yourself on the back and go play Fortnite until fucking 2022. What's the realistic alternative, though? Fighting. The ocean produces somewhere between 40 and 50% of all breathable oxygen. That oxygen is created by phytoplankton, which is, you know, like a fucking, or not phytoplankton, fucking, I can't remember what they're called. Anyways, like little microscopic fucking organisms that form the bottom of the food chain that, you know, fucking are plants. They use photosynthesis. So they take CO2 from the atmosphere and their output is oxygen. So about, let's be charitable here, 40% of the oxygen you're breathing right now came out of the ocean. The ocean is acidifying to the point where in 50 years it will no longer support the algae and small plant life that creates that oxygen. Phytoplankton, sure. And the bottom of the food chain in the ocean dies. And what happens when the bottom of the food chain dies? The whole ecosystem dies, right? Because the animals that feed on the phytoplankton that are food for the larger predators, that are food for the larger predators, they all die because the phytoplankton's gone. 50 years. That's what climate scientists are saying now. And we have consistently seen that climate estimates have been short of the mark. Like they estimated that we would reach the point we're at now in 2050, 20 years ago. Like, so if you take that into account, that climate scientists are typically cautious, then if they're saying 50 years, it might be 40 years. And you don't have to take my word for this. This is already happening. The oceans are dying. 90% of large ocean fish have disappeared in the last 100 years. This is a fact. This is not conjecture. This is not, you can look it up. The Great Barrier Reef in the last 15 years has died. It went from a vibrant ecosystem to a bone white dead zone. Okay? So you don't have to take my word for it. I'm not just out here going like, the ocean's gonna just die. No, it's dying. You can watch it die. You can read about how it has died in the last 30 years and how it will continue to die. Or you can stuff your head in the sand and pretend it's not gonna die and keep voting for Biden cyclically and pretend that he's gonna do anything about it. Keep voting down ballot fucking Democrat and getting fucked out of your fucking voice. Or you could fight. Yep. Drag fishing, the microplastics that have been completely fucking injected into the oceans that now exist in every fish that they catch to test, all the way down to the fucking bottom of the ocean. Every human being that they pull to test has microplastics in their body. We have absolutely 110% fucked this planet and ourselves. Yep, you drink plastic every day. You eat it every day. It's in every aquifer, it's in every body of water. Microplastics have absolutely poisoned this planet. How about instead of voting no confidence, you can register and vote for the People's Party that Jimmy Dore has given platform to on his show? If that's what you feel like you want to do with your vote, I'm not going to stand in your way. As long as it's not, as long as the People's Party is completely unaffiliated with the DNC, then vote whatever you want. As long as your vote doesn't go to the DNC or the RNC, you voted no confidence in my eyes. So go for it. That's not what I'll be doing. I'll be writing in no confidence. And I'll be voting down ballot and for initiatives. My first vote cast, it looks like it's probably going to be in the California recall election, which should be fun. As a Californian, I have a soft spot in my heart for our recall elections, so. See, that's my question, dude, is like, is it, how long is it before it becomes the Justice Dems? The Justice Dems, you know, were this idea that we were going to take these people outside of the Democratic Party and inject them in like a left-wing Tea Party kind of thing, and we did it, and they all just became shit libs. Just like all the Tea Party people became, you know, fucking normal-ass Republicans. So, once again, if I'm all about you voting for anybody that you want to, but I'm telling you, everything the DNC touches turns to shit. So if you're throwing fucking good money after bad by voting for the DNC over and over again, you're not fucking doing the right thing, in my opinion. You're being fear-mongered into voting for your own oppressor. You're being fear-mongered into voting for people who are fucking colonizers and imperialists and warmongers and corporatists through and through. People whose ideology and inaction contributed to the death that this planet will experience. There's going to come a generation here that will not forgive us. You're talking about like generational ideas. There will come a generation whose suffering is so great because of what we've done to the planet. They will not forgive us for our inactions. They will not contextualize our voting for rapists and murderers and colonizers. They will not look back and say, well, at least they tried. At least they looked for the lesser of two evil. They're not going to look back and look kindly upon what you've done. They're going to look at you as what you are. Somebody who reveled in the opulence for so long that it destroyed everything. Congrats. This take gave us Trump and great harm to what you care for, Paul. I've lived through enough Republican administrations to know that the output of the Trump administration was no more fucking damaging than, it was actually less damaging than George Bush. You want a real boogeyman? George W. Bush is your boogeyman. You want to talk about somebody that functionally worked against gay people, black people, brown people, and people overseas? and the global south, George W. Bush is your goddamn boogeyman. Sorry, I'm too old. The Trump administration didn't hold a fucking candle to either of the Bush administrations. That motherfucker was a warmonger. So you, like, I know you guys, like a lot of Zoomers and shit and fucking millennials, like Trump is the greatest evil that's ever been fucking hatched on this planet. Dude, I lived through George Bush. I know that the world doesn't disappear into a fucking trans hell when a Republican wins and serves 2 terms. I've been through it a bunch of fucking times. It's fine. In fact, it's necessary. The people that you're electing want it to happen because it lets them play ping pong. We have to fight. Set aside all your ideas. Vote blue no matter who. We gotta kick these Republicans out. And you'll see it. We got slim margins in the House. We got slim margins in the fucking Senate. We got midterms coming up in less than a year now, right? We're dropping the strap. I'm calling it right now. The Democratic Party is going to lose either the House or the Senate. Probably the Senate. Oh my God, we've got to fight. We've got to fight. And then the excuses will be, well, what is Biden supposed to do? He has a fucking deadlocked House and Senate. Biden. I've seen the cycle. This is the fucking cycle of anguish that electoralists go through. I've seen it. I lived it. I participated in it most of my fucking life. This is all by design, by the way. You stonewalled by fucking Republicans in the House, and blah, blah, blah. What's AOC supposed to do, man? Republicans have the House now, blah, 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 blah. Get out of here. Heard it all before. I can see it like it's already fucking happened. Everybody's like, we had to get rid of Trump. Here he is again. 2024, right around the goddamn corner, motherfucker looking healthy, dropping all these hints. He's about to run again. Everybody, there's no way he would again, dude. You kidding me? You give all those people you promised fucking things to, like, hey, I'm going to stop deportations. Oops, no, I'm not. Hey, I'm going to fucking stop fracking and stop the Dakota Access pipeline. Oops, no, I'm not. Like all these fucking single issue voters that voted for him based on some promise he made. He doesn't deliver it in his first fucking term. You think he won't drop the strap to fucking Trump again? And then we got 4 more fucking years and all we did was just pause the Trump presidency? You think that's not possible? And maybe it's not Trump. Maybe it's just a politer Trump. A Tom Cotton Trump. The most important election in history. The most important election in American history. The most important election in American history. The most important election we've ever had. The most important election in this century. The most important election in the history of this country. The most important election since the signing of the Constitution. The most important election. Tired of these whiners, man. Fucking whiny ass, capitulating ass, fucking low expectation leftists. Get thee gone. Get thee hence. Back to the middle with thee. The white moderate Malcolm X was and still is right, yes. Oh, don't quote that, dude. Fucking libs that voted for Biden hate that quote. They hate, dude, they get so salty when you quote that nothing will fundamentally change thing, and they'll go, dude, I've seen some mental gymnastics over that shit. He meant this, and he meant that, and he meant this, and they take this out of context, they take that out of context. It's like, dude, that was a candid fucking thing that he said to a bunch of his rich supporters, you dumb motherfucker. You know exactly what he meant. He meant, dude, I'm so sick of hearing that. Get out of here. Weak leftism. Namby-pamby leftism. US Dems blocked Trump from giving you 2K so we could give you 2K. That 1.4K was 2K somehow. And now no more stimmies, but 6 trillion for the richest people and corpse out there. Yep. Congratulations. Wow. Wow. Stunning. What a stunning victory for the average fucking person suffering right now. Everybody's crowing, too, about this child tax credit. What about the fucking growing number of young homeless people or young people on the edge of homelessness, young people living below the poverty line that don't have children because they can't afford to have children? Everybody's crowing because the breeders get a temporary tax bonus and we're all supposed to do a backflip over that shit. They get a temporary tax credit for every one they popped out. What about all the fucking young people that can't afford to have a child? Because they're living literally hand to mouth. They get nothing. They get jack fucking shit. You think they're going to turn out again and vote for Biden? Are you kidding me? They're staying home. And who could blame them? And when that child tax credit runs out, a lot of those people are going to stay home too. No college debt cancellation for those people. No help for them at all. $1.4 thousand, and a lot of them were excluded from that. You're on your own out there if you haven't popped out a couple fucking kids. What a ridiculous bunch of fucking myopic nonsense. We need a child tax, not a child tax credit. All right, well, maybe I do agree with the troll on one or two things. No. I actually don't want, I wouldn't want to levy some kind of fucking tax burden on families, because really it's going to be like taking food out of the mouths of children, right? No, there really is a but think of the children moment. Like, I worked at a school district that had a lot of low-income migrant families who sent their children to school. And a lot of those children, the only square meal a day that they could count on was the free or reduced lunch that they got at school. It's a tuna fish sandwich and an apple or a fucking hot dog and a fucking thing of little french fries or whatever the fuck. That was what they ate that day, right? So let's not get it twisted. It's okay, Jay Sershi. I appreciate high value trolling like yours. I would have banned you if I didn't. I never think of the children. Children don't exist, bro. Yeah. What about the children? What about the children? I'm not a Haitian, dude. I'm not fucking Haitian. I'm not a Haitian immigrant. Joe FDR Biden. Yeah, dude. The most progressive platform since Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Get the fuck out. Get out. Shoo. It's a fucking, it really is a poisonous way of thinking. And there's a lot of self-interest in electoralism if you really listen for it. And I'm not just trying to fucking dunk on my friend TJ here, but that I'm not a Haitian comment is indicative of a true attitude of certain leftists. It's like, look, I'm not them, so fuck it. This got a little better, that got a little better, so fuck them. You can hear it. There's a lot of dismissive self-interest in electoralists and people that fucking espouse it. Just listen for it. You'll hear it. A lot of selective empathy. Just look for it. You'll see it. Strange how selective people are with who they dismiss too. I'm not a Haitian immigrant, but what about the trans folk? Like, huh? Right. Right. This is another take that's gonna catch a fucking bunch of hell for me, but I made a tweet about it the other day. It was like, and this is true too. Leftists force class reductionism when they refuse to agree that trans rights aren't going to matter if the fucking world is burning. Like, we need to start thinking non-myopically in this country. I'm not saying we abandon trans people, but look, there are people out there actually like fear-mongering that gay marriage is going to be under assault. That genie can never go back in the bottle in this country ever. It would mean literally one by one legally untangling millions of marriages now. Not going to happen. So you're being fear-mongered if you think that a Republican presidency is going to undo gay marriage. So let's be real about this fucking shit. Let's stop being myopic. And let's start thinking about who's suffering as a result of what we're doing here. and how we can help those fucking people. You think the Republicans aren't that cruel and petty? No, I think they're that cruel and petty. I just don't think that they will ever be able to find or marshal a force to do it. You have no idea the bureaucracy that would be involved. They would have to literally create a department of decommissioning gay marriages and fund it as such, and have it a huge building in Washington and shit, and state level fucking federal examples of each, and just an army of goddamn fucking lawyers. It's ridiculous. You have absolutely no fucking clue what it would take to do that. Like you're talking shit. You're talking shit out of your ass if you think that there's any fucking way to legally untangle the system again. Gay marriage is not under attack. It's not under assault. It can't be. It would take a literal fucking reversal of the American fucking way of doing business. The complete legal untangle. And you can't just go and like legally untangle each marriage. You have to go back through each taxable year and redo tax returns. Millions of couples. You have no fucking clue what you're talking about. Let's just put it this way. Even if they started doing it, they don't have time to do it before the ocean stops making oxygen. So maybe we ought to focus on that. Even if they did throw $1 trillion at the Bureau of Anti-Gay Marriage and established all these buildings in every fucking state and started the arduous process and the arduous legal challenges that would arise in this process, not to mention the hard work of actually functionally separating people, you have no fucking clue. You really have no fucking clue what's involved. It's not going to happen. It's under assault in other countries. They could focus on that. You mean other countries that we're occupying or materially supporting where they're fighting gay marriage, like Saudi Arabia, our best fucking friend? Like every other fucking strong man in the world that we're not currently geopolitically aligned against? Oh, you mean like that? How long before Joe Biden is kissing the fucking hand of a Saudi prince? I can't wait for that photo op. He's done it before. I know we've got that photo op from him before, but I want to see the new Biden kissing the hand of a Saudi prince. You think year 2? Yeah, I think so too. That's when he'll do his like dun 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 pomp and circumstance tour of the world to crow about how he ended COVID or whatever the fuck. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, I hope he doesn't like mistake it for Jill Biden's hand and like go like, that would be a great photo op, him sucking on the finger of the fucking Saudi prince. How about this? How about the Saudi prince stuffs his hand down the front of his pants and pokes his finger through his fly, and then Joe Biden gets down on his knees and puts his arms behind his back and goes like, and we get that photo op with the Saudi prince laughing like, ah, and Joe Biden bobbing on his dick symbolically. Can we get that photo op? Good morning from Sweden. Good morning, Sweden. I bet it's beautiful there. I'd love to visit your country one day. Not to get sidetracked, but good morning, Sweden. I would love to see a sunrise in your country one of these days. That's graphic? Yeah, it is. See you, Raz. Oh no, they don't do that though. They don't prostrate themselves in front of us for their weapons. They don't have to. We go over there and show them all kinds of deference and touch their weird fucking psycho ball and hold hands with their weird dress wearing fucking Bedouin prince or whatever the fuck it is. Like there's never any of that going back the other way. They don't come over here and fucking take all that shit off and eat a cheeseburger or anything. Whatever that fucking thing is. You remember that goddamn picture of Trump touching the psycho ball with like Ben Salman standing there touching the psycho ball like they were channeling some evil spirit? You guys don't remember this shit? This fucking shit was legendary. It's like, what is going on? What are they doing? Oh my fucking god, bro. Trump's eyes were all closed and shit. It was like fucking like they were casting some kind of necromantic spell or some shit. What the fuck, bro? What's going on, dude? He touched the orb of destiny with Ben Salman. What was that? Like, what is that even supposed to be representative of? What, like, does anybody know the context of that shit? It just came out. I just saw that picture and I was like, is this a Photoshop? Went and looked and I was like, no, this is a Reuters picture. What was the fucking, does nobody know why he touched the orb? What was the orb? It's something we weren't supposed to see? Well, why were there a fucking bunch of pictures of it? Why was the media allowed in there? It's literally Reuters that took that picture. It was a big media event. What do you think it was? I fucking don't know, bro. You tell me, Cynic. You seem to know. What are you telling me they were doing? Summoning a demon or some shit? Like, whatever. Yeah, somebody fucking find out for me what the orb of destiny that was being touched was. What it was. Like, is it some symbolic art installation or some shit? Isn't that ball in the cube in Mecca? Dude, Trump would never be allowed to fucking touch the cube in Mecca, let alone touch what's within it. And no, I don't think that ball is what's in there. But no, like, you're not even allowed to, like, people that fucking worship aren't even allowed to touch the Kaaba. Or the Kaaba. Yeah, the meteorite that's in there. Yeah, there's like a tiny list of like priests and penitents that work that are allowed in that fucking room. Like when people make the pilgrimage to Mecca and Medina, they rotate around it, but they're never allowed to get close enough to touch it. So even the building that houses it is protected. It's the Loch Nar, dude. Yeah, they do X number of laps, and then they've done that part of the pilgrimage, right? The Lochnar, dude. What the fuck, bro? The Lochnar. You just looked it up? Okay, what is it? Did you already tell me? It's something to do with the ancient Egyptian god, so I assume Ra. What's in the box? Pain. You will place your hand in the box. If you remove your hand, you die. This is the Gom Jabbar. If you remove your hand from the box, you will be dead before you hit the floor. You can't do this to me. I have done it to you, little man. Put your hand in the box. Now. The phantasm orb. What's going on, man? It's happening in the goddamn world. Anyway, I'm gonna fucking end this. I'll see you guys later. Bye.